Very much, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Premier, last week, the sorry state of your government's handling of the province's finances was once again confirmed when you told Ontarians that Hydro One was going on the auction block. Your claim is that the revenues generated from your fire sale are going to Liberal election promises, including public infrastructure. But, Premier, the people don't believe you. Your record on accountability gives them every reason to not trust you. Premier, I asked your minister this question before, and now I'll ask you. Will you put any deal for Hydro One in front of the Auditor General and the Financial Accountability Officer and subject it to a value-for-money audit so the people of Ontario can know whether or not they're getting value for their money?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate the question. The principles that the Council is guided by is about incremental value for Ontarians and for consumers. It's also about ensuring that we provide greater investment opportunity thereafter. And we've always said that we'll be transparent and open in our discussion. So absolutely, what we're doing will be open for discussion, will be reviewed. There's going to be a process over the next couple of months prior to broadening the ownership of Hydro One. And, Mr. Speaker, it's going to be in the best interest of all concerned because we've mandated that and will continue to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary.
I'll go back to the Premier. Premier, imagine all of the roads, bridges, and subways you could have built if it weren't for all of the scandals and mismanagement over the past 12 years.
Billions.
E-Health, $2 billion. Orange, $1 billion. And the hydro plant scandal, $1 billion. And that's just to name a few. Premier, your record on openness, transparency, and accountability is, how can I put this in a kind way, abysmal. Ratepayers need to know that the proceeds from the sale of Hydro One are going to go where the law directs they should go, namely the $27 billion of hydro debt. When you sell off 60% of that asset, the revenue piece is going to drop as well. It'll drive up hydro rates again. So I'll ask you one more time. Will you subject this deal to the Auditor General and the Accountability Officer?
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, imagine if they applied the same principles to the sale of the 407. Imagine if the annuity of $1 billion annually was there for the benefit of the people of Ontario today. We recognize the mistakes they made, and we're ensuring that we don't make them again, and that is why we're broadening ownership. That's why we're insisting on integrity of dividends. That's going to be assumed by the ownership still of Hydro One. That's why we're reinvesting it into the Trillium Trust, which is going to be legal because we recognize we're also applying a portion of that to the debt of OEFC and consolidated debt. Mr. Speaker, we recognize the importance of investing. The member across has just admitted that he would not invest in those transit projects because he feels that the return on equity or return on investment is greater by holding an operation that is not as efficient as it should be, Mr. Speaker. We're doing both. We recognize the incremental value that comes from it. Thank you.